you this. The cost of the damage to business and the economy still being tallied, and it runs into billions at this point. Many businesses are unlikely to survive the riots. A crippling double blow with the COVID-19 pandemic also exacerbating this. To help quantify the impact of the unrest on small businesses, I'm now joined by Small Business Institute CEO, Mr. Dludlu. Mr. Dludlu, thank you so much for your time. I can't imagine in which numbers you're now ranging just in terms of quantifying the cost of damages, loss to stock, or just overall businesses that had to close down. Keep us up to speed and just give us the reality.
Sure. Thank you very much, Tumelo, for having us, and good morning. It's difficult at this stage, but let's go back to where we were almost around this time last year. Small businesses were struggling to breathe by that time. We were going through a recession. The cost of doing business was high because of the cost of capital, and big business, state-owned enterprises and government departments were strangling small businesses by not paying them on time. And there were so many other underlying conditions that were facing small businesses. In one of the surveys, in one of the research papers we did, we looked at 150 papers which were surveying the impact of COVID at the time. And the shocking stats that came out was suggesting that as many as 55,000 small businesses would not make it through the COVID period. By the way, that was last year.
Right.
The situation has gotten worse. We are back to a harder lockdown. And then, of course, the new mayhem that has destroyed so many livelihoods and so many businesses. So the impact is likely to be double that.
Yeah.
And by the way, we need, if we have to create 90% of new jobs by 2030 from this SME segment of the economy, we need to be creating 39,000 small businesses that are sustainable on a yearly basis. We're too far from that.
So with that being said, my question to you now is, what are small businesses saying on the ground in terms of rebuilding and coming back into the very same communities that they served and the lootings occur? Because if these were the challenges just before COVID, during COVID, and now with these unrest, I can understand if a business is probably too reluctant or afraid that this might happen again because they might not have the willpower, if they haven't closed already, to recover again. So what are they saying at this point about coming back into these communities, at least for those who can even rebuild?
Yeah, unfortunately, the call is going to government and, of course, to the big suppliers to say, please help us rebuild, quickly rebound by getting us stock and by getting our places up and running again. There's so much that the communities can do. They can clean up and assist in rebuilding the malls. But what they cannot do is they cannot restock you. So this is where help is desperately required. And we are getting so many calls from SMEs that if I do reopen, will I have security? If I do reopen, will I be protected? The communities are unlikely to protect you forever. So law enforcement authorities and government need to be there. Tumelo, where we are now, it looks increasingly unlikely that we cannot do this without another round of government assistance. And we don't have to wait for October for the MTEF to be released, the mini budget to be released. We need urgently to act now. There's so much that Sasria, the insurance company, can do to assist small businesses and big businesses which are impacted by this. What is required now?
I just have to ask you this because we're running out of time and I need to squeeze this question in. In terms of just managing expectations, it's easy to say that government needs to come in and business is urgently appealing to government, but is it realistic to think that government can assist all small businesses at the urgency and pace that they need? I'm asking this because if you're a small business right now and you have experienced the slow pace of business paying late, missing the 60 to 90 period payment, and thus other challenges that you've incurred, you need alternatives on how to survive without business. Is it realistic to think that they will get their house in order and assist all small businesses that are affected?
This is about our future. I think we have to do everything we can. Both the private sector, big business, and the charitable foundations, as we did last year when we were faced with COVID, and government as well. We just can't say we cannot do anything. Yes, we are fiscally constrained as a country, but we need to save our future.
Absolutely, and we leave it there on that very positive note. Mr. John Dludlu, Small Business Institute CEO, talking about the impact on small businesses, but also equally saying that there's no time to waste. They need to recover, they need government assistance, but also need the entire industry to rally behind it so that they can, of course, go back to serving the communities that they have. Thank you for your time this morning.